Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get cooking here this evening, got to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, golfercbd.com. Make sure you guys check out golfercbd.com. What they're doing is introducing a range of naturally sourced products, enhancing a golfer's playing skills and capability during their training process, game prep, performance, and relaxation. Developed and produced by golfers for golfers. Used and supported by performance and professional golfers across the US and Europe. Golfer CBD is manufactured right here in the US. Make sure you guys check them out. Golfercbd.com, promo code PPP10 to save yourself 10% at checkout. Also, make sure you check out 420 Bliss if you're here locally in the 518. Everything you're looking for, flowers, pre-rolls, edibles, tinctures, vapes, you name it, they have it. Also, if you don't feel like leaving the house, you can go to 420-bliss.com. and they can deliver right to you. So let them know the Pitch Putt Puff crew sent you. And last but not least, we got Trouble Off the Tee, TroubleOffTheTee.com. Promo code RGB, 15% off site wide, as well as promo code PUFF for 10%, or excuse me, buy one, get one free on the polos. Make sure you guys take advantage of that opportunity before it is too late. I'm going to get into some guests here, going back to the Canna world tonight. So take a quick break and introduce our guest. Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. We got a returning guest tonight, as well as a new face. Welcome back to the podcast. We have Riana from Jaunty. What's up, Riana?
Not too much. How are you guys?
Good. And we have Lindsey from HPI. How are you, Lindsey?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for joining. Also, the New York nnnaWomen, right? That's the Instagram page, right? Nice.
It is.
Awesome. So Riana, why don't you just give a quick little intro for any new listeners about what you do and a little bit about Jaunty.
So Jaunty has been within the hemp space since 2017 when everything in New York State went legal. They transitioned over to the cannabis space. We work in distillate and hash. I'm the upstate sales rep. I represent from Poughkeepsie to Potsdam.
That's such a territory. It's so crazy.
It's so much smaller than it used to be, yo. I'm so grateful.
Like when you say the upstate sales rep, like upstate to you was Buffalo to Potsdam. Like what? That's insane.
It was. That was my first 4.5 months was the entirety of upstate.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. And Lindsey, what about you? What got you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into the cannabis industry?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm glad to be on the first time. I was super jealous that I didn't get to join you last time, but you had my girl Ree, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I ended up in the cannabis space because of my husband. My husband actually works for Kecha Testing Labs. And one day I met up with him for lunch and we went over to HPI and I got a tour of it. And I found out that it was woman-owned. Woman-owned but family-led is really kind of the ethos over there. It's you go to a lot of workplaces and you hear it's like a family and it's a red flag, but nobody tells you it's like a family. It just feels like one when you're there. So it's pretty awesome. I do community relations, which is mostly social media, events, PR, all of that kind of stuff for HPI.
Awesome. And now what does HPI do? They're like a distributor for most vendors, I guess you would call them. I don't even know what you
More than that. So we are distributors, processors, manufacturing, and distribution, and cultivation as well. We also do co-packaging, branding, licensing, you name it. HPI is pretty vertically integrated. And it's pretty awesome. Yeah. So we have one in-house brand that's Dank by definition. I'm sure you've heard of Dank.
Yep.
They're currently the #1 selling flower in the state, which is pretty cool. Not just because it's dank, but just because it comes back to people. And I think that's what really drove me into cannabis was people and the people in the space and the dank guys. At first I thought they were just going to be a bunch of club owners. And while they come from that world, they're just down home dudes,
Yeah.
good guys who just want to put out weed that they will smoke themselves.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. They're our in-house brand. Then we have PAX, which was formerly Packwoods. They now go by PAX. Plug Play, Eureka, Platinum Reserve, Her Highness, Drew Martin, Cocoa Nugs, Green Revolution, and then there's about 10 more than that on top of it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, a lot of those also are locally, and I'm sponsored by Ty over at 420 Bliss. I don't know if you knew that. So
I love her. She's
Shout
so
out to
funny.
Ty.
she's the best. She is literally so funny. I texted her. We hung out with her on Friday last week, and I texted her after. I said I bring the whole table. Remember she was talking about what do you bring to the table? She said the whole damn table.
She does. She
I was
does.
crying. I literally texted her that the next day because I found myself laughing about it.
I talked to her this
It's
afternoon.
so
She's like, I
funny.
gotta be on the podcast. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, just be on it. Like,
Just
it's
hop
She's
on.
awesome.
hilarious.
We want to do it. We wanted to do like an in person, but like I said before, my studio situation's a little tight right now. Working on something, so I do kind of have a setup I'm working on, but we can't do it at the shop because we can't smoke or anything there. So
Yeah.
we got to figure something out. But
We need
sooner
like
than
a
later.
stealth fan or something.
Uh,
Let's do a big sponsorship, get a stealth fan, and we can just pod from that.
remember the shit we were doing back in the day though, where we were taking like toilet paper holder and a laundry, a dryer sheet,
Yes, the
and
spoof.
yeah,
The
the
That's
spoof,
what
spoof.
they called it. I didn't know
a
that.
I don't know.
spoof.
That's what we called it in Florida.
That's what we called it up here too. It was a spoof. Yeah, I remember in college dorms. I went up to visit. I think I was in Lemoyne, and I went to visit a buddy, and he thought like that was actually gonna work. I'm like, bro, this place stinks right now. It was so bad. Like we were busted right off rip. Luckily, I didn't stay the night. I got out of there. I don't know what happened to him after that though.
The trick was the lavender dryer sheets.
Yeah, you had the scented ones. Yep, I remember. But then like everything, like you tasted your next hit tasted like lavender. I felt
Like,
like
don't you need to still blow it out a window so you're not being super obvious?
no,
Like,
we
I
blew
don't.
it.
Yeah, you plug under the door with a towel.
Yep. Tape
You
up around the door. We said duct tape around the door.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
blow it out the window when you're 19 years old of your first apartment in New York City, trying not while holding on to your air conditioner so it doesn't fall and murder
Oh my
someone below
god.
you.
See, I just put
Yay!
a fan in
Legacy.
reverse in the window and would just sit by the fan with my J's and my blunts and shit. Like, yeah, who the fuck cares? Like,
Yeah.
my dad never cared enough.
No, back man, we did some crazy things. I grew up. There was a car wash. So this is funny to think about 20 years later, 20 plus years later. But we would in the wintertime we couldn't like go into we were high school, so we couldn't go to someone's house and like smoke. So we would close the doors of the car wash. It had like two big bay doors, and we would close it and just hotbox the car wash for a couple hours and come out there stinking and everything else. They had
Which
to know
car
what we were doing.
wash?
In Troy on Campbell's Ave. Used to be a car wash. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, now I
Okay.
feel like you need to do an episode from that, whatever it is now. They just need to let you in
I know the
to
guy
get.
who owns that building too. I bet he could let me get it. It's not even close to the same though. It's like a doctor's office and like a chicken spot now or something. But yeah, we
Yo,
did.
that sounds like the perfect place to get fucked up.
I
Okay,
know.
so we're all old, so why don't we just go to a car wash and close the doors and just like put a
Remember
sign
that?
out that says old
Yo,
people
do you
get
remember
mad?
hotboxing in car washes and
Oh
feeling
yeah.
fucked up as shit?
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's all the pretty colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they put
Just
like the
sitting there.
soap on it. That's
So I remember when I first started smoking and going out and like because when I first started smoking I didn't go in public, like that was one of my things, like I'd chill and just hang out with the guys or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then I remember one time we went to the movies or the mall or something and like all the lights were super bright. Every single person was staring at me and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I had like an anxiety attack. I was like, I gotta get out of here. It took me a while to go out in public all smoked out, but eventually I did it and got
When
used
I
to it
was younger, I
real
used to
easy.
suffer from the everybody knows. They
Everybody
all know.
knows. Everybody knows. But the thing is, everybody else is doing it too. That you just didn't know back then. That's
Yep.
the other crazy thing.
I never cared if people knew that I was high. I've been smoking since I was 15. Like
Li-
every day, morning to night, since the first time I got high. The first time I got high was also the first time I got drunk. Um, so I went to a party the night before in my friend Adam's garage. He turned his whole garage into like a mini nightclub. He was 18 or 19. I was 15. And they like literally, I just remember back in the day, remember how cool it was when you would like break apart a highlighter and put it in a bottle and then
Yup.
put black lights up. So his whole garage was covered in those bottles. The first time I had vodka, first time of any of it. I wake up the next morning at some girl's house with my best friend Liz. I have no idea where I am. I have the worst headache I've ever had in my life, first hangover. And she comes to me with a bong the size that Rihanna is holding. And she's like, put your mouth up to this and suck in. And I was like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. And she's like, do you want to keep feeling the way you're feeling? I was
Yup.
like, no. She's like, then inhale.
Yeah, that's it.
And that was it.
Peer
And then
pressure, peer pressure.
I never turned back.
Lindsay, did you say you grew up in Florida?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that was the. I remember going down there and trying to get flour down there back in the day, and it was like impossible. Like if they didn't know who you were and stuff, I had
Yeah.
such a tough time going down there. I never am successful when I go down there. I think that
No?
no, I think they're slowly starting to loosen up on their regulations down there now too. So
Well, in
hopefully,
the legacy times, you just had to go to a college.
yeah.
It
See, I
was
didn't know.
everywhere in college.
Well, that's what it
Right
was,
now
but
they've got medical.
it was the summertime, so there was really no college guys around,
Then you
unfortunately.
just, oh, I guess you can't just walk down the beach in Daytona and
That's
get
a guy.
drugs handed to you.
Yeah, I wasn't anywhere near there. I don't even know where the hell I was. I was in like I guess I wasn't too far from Daytona. It was St. Augustine, so
Oh, it's
that's
beautiful there. I love St. Augustine.
yeah. I think it's what the oldest city in America or something like that. There's some kind of history to that city.
So they say.
So they say, right? So they say. So they say. So like in the past few years since they have legalized it, how much like what have you guys noticed in New York? Like how is it people becoming like more accepting to it? Do you guys see a lot of pushback from it? What are you guys seeing out there? Because you're out there on the ground floor.
I see mostly people accepting it. Like when I get to go into dispensaries, it's a gambit of age groups, a gambit of backgrounds. You have grandmothers coming in and walking up to the counter going, "All right, honey, so I'm dealing with this and I need something to put that down."
Yeah,
So it's beautiful to see everyone coming together. I don't see a ton of pushback. Um, Lindsay can tell you more about one of the events that we went to a few weeks ago. That was, I think, like, it was Lobby
Revelry.
Day. No, Lobby
Lobby
Day.
day. Yeah, even
Um,
then was pretty amazing.
yeah, that was tons of people within the government just asking honest questions and being like, "Please enlighten me. I want to know more." And it's like, yes,
and I feel like
Yeah.
that's a lot of it too. Is that they're just not educated about it, like because of how it was how much I guess I'm not using the right word, but like the stigmatism against it, like no one, oh, it's you smoke pot, this is your brain on drugs commercials and stuff like that. And the little kid crashed in the car and all that
the girl
crazy.
melted into the couch. That was
Yeah,
my
like
So
favorite.
astigmatism is what fucks your eyes up at night.
that's
You
what
know,
I
when
know.
you're
Yeah,
like,
I knew
stigma.
that.
You were
Thank you.
so close.
I knew I wasn't saying it right. That's why I kind of like paused right before it. So I was like, not
I
saying
love
this
when
right, but I'm going for it. Fuck it.
you went for it so hard, and I love it. I might have to start calling it that now.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
knew I was not saying that right. That's funny.
but yeah, bring it back to what Reese said. There's this thing that's called ECMA, which is the Empire Cannabis Manufacturers Association. And I think more people should know about it because it's pretty awesome. It's bringing together the top 8 processors, and then they're going to open it up to others as we move on. And actually, this is how Rhea and I get to work together is both of our CEOs are involved in ECMA. And what ECMA is it's all these processors coming together. They're saying collaboration over competition. You always hear it, and it's normally bullshit, but in this case, it's really true. And they went together as groups from Hudson Cannabis, Off Hours, which is No Wave, Nanticoke,
Beacon Skiff.
Jaunty, HPI, Hepworth, and then there was a
Beacon
couple of
Skiff. Beacon
Beacon
Skiff.
Skiff, which is Heirloom. Yep. Yep. Can't forget about Nick and Mac.
Yup,
And they
yup,
all
the
went
two wonders.
together and they lobbied to these legislators, and they went in and they were working on things like consumption spaces, the grower showcase, which you
Yeah.
saw just went through, which is
They
amazing.
came
That's a
back.
big effort of ECMA. The lobbying for being able to pay yearly taxes versus quarterly taxes, which is going to be
Mhm.
hugely helpful for businesses in the cannabis manufacturing space specifically.
Yep.
And they're working on consumption spaces, and they're working on changing up some of the rules around marketing that just aren't really in line or fair when everyone's like treated like alcohol. Um, and that is something I want to talk about if we can, because that
Yeah.
actually makes a nice segue. If you don't mind, if I kind of shift
I
the
was just
topic
gonna
a
ask
little.
you like what are some of the restrictions like because
Yeah,
I work in the alcohol business and like I know you can put signs up in certain places where you can't. There's other places you can't put a sign up. Like
yeah,
I
and
totally get it.
here's the thing, and it's a conundrum that I face because I want weed to be treated like alcohol in the marketplace only. I don't think it's fair to treat cannabis like alcohol in the legal space, such as when it comes to driving, when it comes to DUIs, when it comes to health, um,
Education.
education.
Mhm.
Like alcohol doesn't have health benefits
Right.
unless we're
No.
talking about like rubbing alcohol, or maybe, putting a little brandy on the gums if you're hurt. But like
Sure.
other than that, they're incomparable. But at the same time, we want the marketplace to put them in the same category. Um, and that's because we're saying, what we're really saying isn't we are like alcohol. What we're saying is that cannabis is less dangerous than alcohol. So at the very least, let's look at these restrictions of this more harmful substance and apply that level of restriction versus so much more for something that is so much safer. So it's such a tough place to be in mentally and emotionally, as an advocate and as someone who lobbies, because we're like, treat us like alcohol, but also don't treat us like alcohol.
Yeah, because
You know?
let's be honest, cannabis has medicinal benefits. Like this has
Hmm.
been proven. We have an
Right.
ECS built for it and it brings that into harmony. Alcohol, I'm sorry, man. It's a poison to our system.
They call it
Um,
spirits for a reason. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's brings out the dark arts.
Um, so
It's
they
just
just, yeah, like we just want to be able to market the way that you guys get to. Like you get to put signs up places, like we really don't. We're
right.
allowed to spend $200 to put our marketing stuff in a dispensary. That's all we get annually.
Hmm.
Do you know how much just like, I don't know, one of our risers is?
Yeah, that
Like
stuff's not cheap
it's
at all.
yeah, so we're all switching to like lesser materials, which then makes our displays not look nearly as good. So like the consumers don't know this when they're walking around that we're fighting just to have shit on display so they can see what they're buying.
That's
And that's
crazy.
because like New York State, they wanted us to be able to like they wanted stoners and people who consume to have a place where they can go that's not the neighborhood plug. They didn't want to educate, they didn't want to like open this up to like anyone outside of those who already consume. That wasn't the goal. So we're pigeonholed
Hmm.
because that's just that it wasn't the goal.
Right.
Um and it sucks cuz like I get you don't want us to advertise to kids. Duh.
Right. But the kids are still
Fair.
walking into a Cumberland Farms and seeing the Miller Lite and the Bud Light and all this other stuff.
You can walk into your local gas station and find, I don't even hemp weed on the shelf.
Right.
Psychoactive hemp you can find on the shelf, and it's in empty jar, like little jars right there, completely on display.
Yeah.
So like, if they can do that, I don't see the difference. I really don't.
Yeah, that makes absolutely no. When
Yeah.
you actually, I never actually thought about that, but like when you walk into a gas station, the Delta 8 or whatever it is, it's
It's
just
all
sitting
weed.
there. Yeah, it's all just sitting there right out in the open. And
It
Yeah.
is.
99% of these gas
And
stations, that's crazy.
it's untested and unregulated,
Mic
which is a
drop. Boom.
really, really, really big problem. So if anybody's listening to this, like, oh, I can just go to the gas station. No, you can't. And as somebody who's married to someone in the world of testing, I get to hear
Mhm.
all the time about the microbials. Every once in a while, I get to see a picture. He's like, look at this slide. I'm like, please stop fucking showing me your bacteria slides.
Yeah,
I
Like,
don't want to see them.
and if I
But
buy from
also,
the legacy market, I go to people who actually send their stuff out to be tested.
right.
Like there's
like,
there's ways to do it correctly. We just have to worry about what we're getting, and that's the important part.
Lindsay,
right.
what are some of the things you've seen at like the off the black market, like vape cartridges and stuff like that? Because I've been hearing crazy things about those lately, especially.
So I don't personally, I shop legally.
Mhm.
I made
No,
that
no,
big
like on the
tradition.
like on your husband. Like, has he ever done like you seen the test
No,
results on?
not real,
Okay,
not really.
I would be so curious to
No,
see what kind of shit is actually in those things
no.
that
I
you're
mean,
giving.
from all of the people that I've named ECMA, a lot of them test with him.
Mhm.
He's over at Kecha Labs. But no, I mean, I haven't encountered that. He's not brought that home to me as far as the black market goes. But we know that the black market exists because we have
Can
all
we
of these
call it the
shops that we're trying
legacy
to
market?
close.
Hey, can
Sorry,
we call it the
legacy
legacy
market.
market? Black
Yeah,
Yes.
market
sorry.
has very negative connotations.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
we know that the legacy market, and I always have trouble with that because some of these people are like new into the business, just trying to like jump in on it, like some of the stores that pop up around the city. But I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of these illegal shops,
Shops,
we
right?
know that they exist,
Mhm.
right? And that they're pulling stuff off the black market. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. Um, so I don't. I mean, Ree, what about you?
In terms of like, I don't actually go into pop-up shops.
Yeah.
I know growers that have been growing for years, so like that's the legacy market I go to. I'm not buying trash from
Gotcha.
California.
Right.
So that's the difference. Like if
Sprayed with
I
who knows
actually,
what.
yeah,
Sprayed with absolutely who knows what and everything else too.
yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
like I'm a grower myself, Lindsay, you yourself, if you have consumed my cannabis, which you have, welcome to legacy, my dear. Like, so I don't send my stuff out to get tested. I don't do that. I control my conditions. But like, if
Right.
I'm going to spend money in the legacy market, then it's going to be from someone who's going to test, because testing is what's important. Know what you're consuming.
Right.
Um, but there's a lot of different things happening out there that like we're not privy to or we don't get to see because we're not everywhere. But like I know sticker shops still exist.
Hmm.
I've been to one. It was a very exciting experience. I felt like an outlaw.
What did
What's
you call them?
what's a
A
sticker
sticker
shop?
shop. A
I've
What are
never
sticker
those?
heard of
shop.
such a thing. What is it? Now you got
It's
to teach us.
it's like where you go to buy weed on the streets.
Like a pop up,
um
like a oh, like a little. I got you. I got you.
yeah, like you walk into a t-shirt shop and magically behind a curtain there's some
Yes.
people
Yeah.
selling weed.
Oh,
Yes.
It
I'm
was
bougie. I had my weed to come to my door.
I live in the middle of nowhere. They don't come out here.
Yeah, I hear that. I can't even get pizza delivered where I live.
Dude, right? I have one pizza place and a Chinese food place.
Yeah, I can't get Chinese,
That
no
makes
doubt.
sense as to why you eat so much pizza.
It
That's
is.
it.
I live and die on
That's
it.
it. So, Lindsay, you're also down in the city. You had a recent event down there. I seen, right? Was it New York City?
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. That was for the New York Cannabis Retail Association. There was a big conference at Javits Center, the CWCBE conference. Um, I surprisingly didn't hear the greatest reviews about the actual conference this year, but the after party, and I'm not just saying this because we were a part of it, I'm just, saying it as someone who was there. It was lit. Like, unfortunately, I can't give mad props to the THC Museum, which I want to do because it's a beautiful space. And as
Right.
someone who comes from the background in photography, the aesthetic presentation of something has like a hugely important aspect of like how I experience the environment. And on a visual level, it's fucking stunning. But the AC was blown in it, so it
Mm,
crammed all these people that were supposed to be on 5 floors into 2 floors and the roof, and it was like raining on and off, so it was rough, and I felt bad for Niagara that they were in that situation, but like because of that, it pushed everybody up to the roof where we were, and that's where HPI was set up, and it turned out to be like fucking party on the rooftop. And
yeah.
I just hung out there, met so many people from different brands. There was brands that were coming from California that were trying to come here, from Michigan, from Oregon, from Ohio. Like everybody
That's
wants to
cool.
be in New York. You know,
Yeah.
New York is the place to be. Rihanna's company was there. Jaunty was there. They were set up down by the bar. Like
Nice.
pretty much, every company that you could think of in the New York marketplace was either at Revelry, which was the event the week before, or at this event, or at both. Like this has been, you think 420 is the month for cannabis events. That's the
Hmm.
month when we're all working. This is the month where we're all getting together and partying.
Nice. Yeah, you get a time to you take May, you catch back up, get everything squared away, and now it's time to enjoy the
Yep.
summer and get lit
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
That's what's up. So let me ask you this: how did the whole New York Can of Women come about? Tell me a little bit about that.
You want to take that one, Rhea, or you want me? Me?
I'll
Okay.
let you go.
Rhea and I were Facebook friends for forever and ever. Like I don't even know how long, but forever. I had a photography business before, which is where I connected with so many women. And Rhea and I one day just got on the phone, and we were like, "Oh shit! Like I like you. Like I think like you might be my friend." And then we started talking all the time and talking every day, and then Mike got into cannabis, and I realized, holy shit, the market that I've been dreaming about, it's here. Like
Right.
it's here now. I didn't know it was here until Ree came in and was like, yo, it's here. And
Right.
so we just started hanging out and doing all these things. And we had this goal, this common goal, where I bring marketing to the table and Ree brings education, that we wanted to help uplift dispensaries. We wanted to educate them. We wanted to give them platforms to market from. We wanted to help build them up with the knowledge that she has about the plant and the knowledge that I have about marketing and human nature. And so we came together and we were like, let's start nnnaWomen. And it first started as something that we were like, we're going to have a company where we do all of this marketing and consulting. And then time went on, and I found my place at HPI, and we realized that Ree has this just massively incredible talent for educating people and for bringing a love of the plant to people who may have only thought they liked it before. And so she's built this subsection for herself called New Moon Cannabis, and I'll let her talk about that a little bit more, where she is doing consulting now. And then I do still a little bit of photography on the side. And NY Canna Women just transformed into kind of our thought leadership page. It's 90% me on there. Ree comes in and contributes. Ree's mostly on her Retokes on New York page now, but people know us as NY Canna Women, and we just kind of run with it. And I guess, in the old world where I was, speaking at colleges about self-confidence, we'd call it thought leadership. And
Mhm.
so I like to kind of take that term and bring it into the cannabis space, and Canna Women is really our thought leadership platform. And then in order to take something out of there, you can hire Ree for consulting. You can reach out to me for photography, for personal headshots and stuff. Everything else, I'm now fully with HPI. But we keep the thought leadership going because people like our reviews and they like our opinions. And so we're like, fuck it, let's keep going.
Right.
How'd I
Why
do?
not?
Good. Very good.
Yeah, Reba, I'll tell you though, I've literally like talking to you a few times, hanging out with you. I've learned, like, I can see how passionate you are about what you do, Rihanna, and how much knowledge you do have about the plant and just the business in itself and everything. What's cool too is, like, I have really only met women in the New York Canada life. Like, I literally legit, like, you guys, Ty, obviously, Kimber, even in, like, I've had the Turb Queen from Michigan on. Like, majority of it is the female side for the most part, when considering like how new and everything it is. And I said this to
Mhm.
the Turb Queen when I had her on. She was big into cultivating. I said, not for nothing, but most of the time women are probably better in the garden anyway. Like, not to be like sexist, but like I wouldn't be able to, like, I tried it, I couldn't do it. Like, I'm not good
I
at it.
want that on a shirt.
Yeah, like,
Women are
legit,
better in the garden.
legit. Because like I've
Don't
tried
you
it.
want that in a shirt?
Have the front say ho and the back say women are better in the garden. It's
There
the
we
only
go.
time it's acceptable.
That's
I'm
amazing.
telling you, because I've tried it, and I don't have, like, I would forget to water the plant for like a day or two. I'm like,
Oh,
oh
you
shit.
gotta see women. We've been trained by society to tend to boo boos. So like,
Right,
we
Hmm.
figure out little ways. Like this water bottle, I can flip this upside down in my garden, and like it'll feed it for a few days if I need to take a few days off.
right. Like, that's the stuff. Like, I just would
Like
forget, and I'm like, oh man, I'd look and the thing be hanging over. I'm like, it's a goner. And 6 weeks in, I just give up.
I've
Yeah.
Just
killed
give up.
so many plants, it's unacceptable.
Hmm.
I don't even want to talk about it. I just I just ask other people to garden for me.
She
And
does.
then
She
and then
does.
I
She
smoke the
adopts
weed.
branches.
I adopt plants.
There you
I
go.
get to be a plant auntie. I have Ree and her buddy right now are on a pheno hunt to make me a baby. And I get to
Nice.
adopt it. And I'm very excited because it's gonna be the best fucking weed ever.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm just so excited.
that's great. What was the thing you were going to talk about though, Rihanna? The your consulting.
Oh, New Moon Cannabis. So I've been on the wellness side of things for a really long time, and I really appreciate being able to help people. So one of the things I've started doing is wellness consulting as well as events. So like I've opened up my land for cannabis events. If any dispensaries are watching and would like to use it, Ty, I'm sending you a list. Um, but like for me personally, I like working with people one on one and working with groups to enhance their ability to use the plant like thoughtfully. Oh, hi Nix. Um, but also to just make every day a little bit easier to deal with and get through, and teach them how to cater their experience to what they need in the moment.
Nice, nice.
And this is my cat. She decided she wants to be famous.
There you go.
She's so cute.
I,
Isn't your
I'm.
other cat named the same thing as my kid?
Yes.
That's funny. So, what do you guys got coming up here in the over the summer? Any big events coming up next few months here?
I know New York State Cannabis Fest. That's coming up in just about a week. I believe I'm one of the educators at it. I gotta send her a headshot.
I took
Nice.
those. I just
Yes,
sent
you
them
did.
too.
Yes, you did. I don't know what else is really going on. I've been planning a bunch of festivals to go play this summer and let my hair down a little bit.
Where
Lindsay,
is
can you
where
play?
is the festival next weekend? Whereabouts is that in New
It's
York?
in Broome County.
How far is that from here?
I think it's 2
Ah,
hours from everywhere in the
there
state.
you
I think
go.
that's why they picked that location.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, not bad.
No,
Maybe.
and listen, in cannabis, if you're not willing to drive, then you're not willing to be in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing overnight camping and stuff, so like it should be fun. They have glamping tents available. You can car camp like I'm gonna.
I've seen
Um,
that picture you posted. That's pretty cool.
I'm so excited.
We are so opposite.
I know, she's like, I need a really fancy hotel, and I'm like, yo, I got a 4-inch mattress in the back of my car and a screen. We're good.
Yeah. I could do like one night, like more than a night. Like I know it's like a lot of work to get everything set up, but like I'm good. I can do that all that work, but just one night I got to be in, and I can't more than one night. I can't be outside in a tent on an air mattress. Can't do
I
it.
would do like a cabin with air conditioning in the windows, like a window
Oh,
unit
I'm
with
not on an air
electricity,
mattress.
like a hot shower.
Yeah, I'm with you,
Like
Lance. I'm with you.
I have a memory foam mattress in the car. Like I know how to roll.
All
I am
right,
meant to drive into nature and then smoke within it and leave.
you get right back out. No doubt. Right back to the concrete jungle.
No, I love it. There isn't any major events coming up. I know Honeysuckle's got some stuff that's on the horizon. They always have stuff coming up. I know NICRA has some events coming up. That's the New York Cannabis Retail Association. Um, but they haven't released it yet. So as soon as they do, I'm happy to post it on our NY Canna Women page and tell people to look out for it. Um, but I think that one of the things that's you know what is coming up that I think is going to be fun, and I don't know if I'm going to this as a work thing or as a personal thing, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to it. Um, for Legacy, they're like Hell on Water. What's it called?
The smoking sale.
The Smoking Sale.
Okay,
All the women on my team are going. There's
where's
3 of
this?
us. I don't even know the details. I know Legacy is putting it on. Do you know
It's on
where
the
it's
Okay.
going to
it's on the
fall?
Dutch Apple. Does that mean anything
Okay.
to you?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yep. Sure does.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'll get the other details of it, but I think that might be a fun one.
That's
I'm gonna get a
actually
solventless
sunburn.
cup.
that could be a really good time. That
Yeah,
Mhm.
one. That sounds like a really good time. That's a great idea. Whoever's putting that together for sure.
yeah.
This solventless cup is coming to Buffalo July 10th. I know I'm gonna be at that on the 10th because it's oil day. So that should be a cool event.
Yeah,
Nice.
there's probably a bunch of stuff coming up on 710.
Oh yeah, all the dispensaries are likely doing things.
What? What's I don't know. 710. That's for the oil, right?
Yeah, it's oil day.
Okay. Because if you do it, I
So
get it. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people wind up giving you some deals on oil day. It's kind of like 420 just for people who really prefer concentrates.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, guys, I really appreciate your time. Why don't you guys give a plug and let everybody know where they can find you?
So you can find me over at NY Canna Women and at Retokes on New York. NY. Retokes on NY.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And we'll catch you next time. Later. Thank you to Lindsey and Riana for jumping on. Really cool to hear the different aspects of the cannabis industry here in New York. But just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we close out here. Golfer CBD, golferscbd.com. Make sure you guys check them out. Golfers choose their essential gear like clubs, balls, and apparel based on perceived advantages to their game. To ultimately save strokes, with these benefits, Golfer CBD is an essential part of golfer's kit because it helps golfers maximize their most valuable tools, their bodies, and their minds. So make sure you check out golferscbd.com. Use promo code PPP10 for 10% off at checkout. Make sure locally, if you're in the 518, you stop in 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosick Road in Troy, New York, right up in the Walmart Plaza. Stop in there, let them know the Pitch Putt and Puff crew sent you. Flowers, vapes, edibles, tinctures, you name it, they got it. And last but not least, we got Trouble Off the Tee, troubleoffthetea.com. Promo code RGB for 15% off, as well as promo code PUFF for buy one, get one free on the polos. Running late here tonight, so RGB's a little bit tired, but I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll catch up with you next time.